Good evening, everyone. Mitch the Preacher here, preaching the gospel of gaming. I'm very excited tonight. I'm going to be playing a game that I received with my CPU a few um, months ago now, I suppose it is. The Outer Worlds. Um, I've been very excited to play this for quite some time, but just the Tarkov kind of had its hooks in me so darn fiercely that I wasn't really anything other than what I was playing. Um, so we're going to jump into my first blind playthrough of The Outer World. And see how it goes. Gonna crank up all the settings and see if there is an in of displaying FPS and all that good stuff, and we'll just see how it performs. Pretty good feeling. Grabs auto correctly. Excellent. Here we go. Once that just barely faint enough is good just the way it is. Enjoy story more than combat. Enemies have less health and do less damage. Recommended and normal. I do subtitles. Cinematic subtitles. At least for now.
Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber. You'll wake up in a perfect society designed to maximize your productivity with guaranteed full employment. With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny. When you go out of this
Minor
world,
term of service, I wonder.
Colony.
Colony ship Hope found drifting colonists unable to be revived. Uh-oh. Hope to be left at the colony. Here's 2320. Hope security corridor, unidentified ship. Phineas Vernon Wells, fugitive wanted by Halcyon.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left adrift out here forever, just to keep from damaging the board's bottom line. Disgraceful.
Game looks really good. Here we go. Most exciting part, character creation. Alright, so I have 6 points. Very compatible. Big one in game. Faster. Wit. Long gun. Oftentimes a long gunner. All gun. Headshot. Probably really chatty. Health regen sound 2. Particularly strong. Averages. Level for specific skill. Really good at persuading. 2 points into persuading to get me up to novice. Two.
I hear Monarch's in need of
Oh.
more game hunters.
Wow, that's huge. Okay.
I hope we haven't lost that silver tongue to frostbite.
Aptitude. Like the career aptitude character possesses each small bonus. No discernible aptitude. Fruit farmer, food additive. Alt Scott. The idea of being kind of smart, sciencey. Didn't get in this pop up though. Out of the gym.
I wonder what experiments you were subjected to.
Bureaucrat. Each one. Pretty darn close. Hey, what do you think? Looks kind of like me? Looks more like who? Oh, a little bit, eh? What would you adjust to make it look more like me? What would you adjust to make it look a little bit more like me? Is it a hair thing? Yeah. That's... Goes out higher. Vertical. Okay. Yep. Like stubble. Okay. I can go bushier beard. Or even bushier. The nose size is down.
Oh, don't make.
Pull back on the brow.
Nose width. Yeah, a little more. Again.
Yeah, but not with like red tips or something. Well, I guess it's just.
There, yeah, that's. You have. Go back to cheek. There. The eye. You're more. Right.
Those folks.
Still looks a little bit like her.
Mitch, my name. Good at chatting, both persuading and. Go.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend.
Please power down your engines and prepare to be.
Not likely, bootlickers.
Whoa.
Initiate skip jump.
Whoa. Era 2 orbiting.
Status. Structural integrity down 25%. Power levels down 11%. Skip drive
Shit.
inoperable.
Ship's pretty beat up. Goes.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? Bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or
Oh
take.
my, 70 years.
Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction. Something wrong? Oh, yes, well, not to worry. I've pumped your body full of a special concoction I devised to keep you from dying so horrifically. Hopefully at all, but I guess we'll see, yes? Unfortunately, I used the last of my chemical supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head. Now, my ship is inoperative, but I've managed to hire a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck!
Bit of escape pod. Remember the Hope. 60th anniversary of the Hope's
Can
70.
you hear me? Is this thing working? Ah, there you are. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, the smuggler. His name is Hawthorne, and he should be waiting for you at the landing site. He's to be your chauffeur, so to speak. Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress. I'll check in with you as soon as you land. Good luck. All the colonists are counting on you.
Way.
Ah, you've landed. Good. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name?
Oh, no.
Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you than the board, huh? Not sure I trusted the fellow. Might have gone after the bounty on my head. Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
Very, Lorax. See how we do. Jump. A little bit of a float to it. Buddy. Buddy. Crouch just kidding. Or enemy heads tell you if they're unaware, suspicious, investigating, or Oh. Oh. Okay. Set. Seed. Whoa.
Easy now. You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Kinda sad effects. Ouch. Urgent. Snow activation can. Heal over time. Go.
Hey, you, come here. You've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, wow, that stings.
I'll patch you up.
Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange for my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. Oh, we're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. Not that I deserve to be. Can't even deliver a company slogan. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take them. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters. Investigating an illegally grounded ship. All spacecraft must arrive and depart from authorized landing pads. That's board law, that is. Some
Nice
hole
ship.
had grounded their spacecraft out in the open. That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot. Not bad, huh?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, okay. You look like you know your way around a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice weapons are now 30% less likely to malfunction. You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time. You hit your head or something? You're in Emerald Vale. We're a Spacer's Choice community. Edgewater's a little ways down. Prettiest place in the Vale. Be sure to stop by a provisioner's for a can of our famous Saltuna.
Fulton.
The Hope? Is that some sort of fancy new drug? Are you with Auntie Cleo or something? Don't take this the wrong way or nothing, but I'm not allowed to fraternize with Cleo workers. Company policy.
Shoot him. Gonna bleed. Blowing. Sauce. He doesn't mind. Have fun. Didn't quite reach that. Dehydrated water tap. Okay. Aim is hold.
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just happened? Can you hear me? What in the hell? This...
Tactical time dilation. that radiation differently. Tactical view is like a bullet time. Very slowly. No objects from too close. Explosions can cause concussion. Ventilation. G. Brew. More Max. Our mac and cheese. Butter. Mac. Punch. Hacking. Skills help you get into places you're not meant to be. Mag picks are used to break open locks and bypass shunts. Break computer encryption. If your skill is high enough to break the security, you will see mag picks or shunts and how long it will take. Skill will lower the speed of the process. Forced. That. Bit cartridge. Bit cartridge. Yet. Alrighty. Still want to find that other body though. There was that. Any of the other ones rolled down here, you would have seen them. Light arm, or light ammo. Weapon man. 4 weapons equipped at a time, dragging them up to the slots at the top of the screen. 70. There is a condition. Okay. Goals to attack and block will all make. It's me on mining helmet. helmet items slot to wear them. You can break them down, inspect them. Pieces of at least 4. Mommy. This. Ammo.
Hey! Get over here before you get yourself killed! Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him
The
with a
nerve.
fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. You pulling my limb? I mean, yeah, of course. Marauders. Bunch of addle-brained derelicts. I could round them up all by myself. I just,
Good.
you know, need a couple of winks to catch my breath. Stretch my legs some. Well, sometimes. Management's real good at cost-benefit analysis. But, seeing as I'm the acting manager in this situation, you know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. And
File
it's
a
gonna
full
be
report.
fucking laminated.
Here we go.
Let's go. Level up. Damn right. Ow. Been promoted. Congratulations, you've gained enough experience up a level. Health point. You perk the other level. Leveling and you'll be upper management material in no time. Sword. Barrel.
This is gonna take a lot of paperwork.
Skill improve. Skill point. Skills. Improves all. After every skill. You've unlocked. Different. I think I keep not speaking loud enough. Hits to the chest produce different effects when you selecting perks. New perk point. Acquire perk points through gameplay. See if that's a bit better. Let's test. Test. Better. Test. Test. I think that's a little bit better. A little bit better. We'll give that a try and see if that's a little bit better on picking up my voice without having to scream at the microphone. So my first perk, base health, tactical time dilation meter, damage when walk speed, sprint speed, weapon armor ability, crit, base armor, additional ammo stock, carry capacity, recharge rate, fast travel when encumbered. Sound kind of handy. From companion kills, vendor. Let's go more health. Probably a good use of the first perk.
Damn marauders are out of control.
Am I just supposed to board this ship and take off?
Please be informed that this vessel contains no valuable plunder.
Okay. Be unreliable.
Unauthorized access of spacefaring vessels is a crime. Please submit yourself to the authorities.
Hey, Ada.
Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. I detect an elevated heart rate, indicating dishonesty. Please prepare yourself for lethal deterrence. Jettison procedures initiated. Disengage in airlocks. Preparing to eject all boarded parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed to express disappointment. I am incapable of accepting orders from anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne.
That's going to be an issue.
I deduce from the tone of your voice that Captain Hawthorne failed to meet you at the designated location. I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand?
Yep, sounds good to me.
Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact.
Aye.
Unfortunately, our engine is currently inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty.
Okay.
High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Thank you. I appreciate your cooperation. Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
She's sassy. Righty, I guess I'll go speak to them and explain that I am the captain of this ship.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you
Yeah.
sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay. Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater.
Yes, I think
Edgewater's
I will
not too
do that.
far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Oh, wrong button. I holster my weapon. Walking around willy-nilly. Old weapon holster. Okay, that's pretty standard for these games, I think. Okay, we said to head east. Down leader. Oh. I do like that bullet time. That's going to be quite handy. The amount of light ammo I'm getting here is pretty abundant, so I'm not too concerned with using it. Oof. All damage, eh? I think I do have a little bit of stat that allows for health regeneration, though. Oh, there you go. rebuild my armor 4. Tech skill or attack and slap. Edgewater. Cool, cool. Very pretty. Oh. Health regenerated pretty quick there. No worries.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from?
Oh, deal the show.
Running around in a marauder's attire. You're liable to give some people the wrong idea.
Fair point.
It's in poor taste. Dressing up like a marauder's disrespectful to all the workers that got eaten by them.
Eaten?
Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls. And low prices. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family. Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer? Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see? Four workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little. He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad. Yeah? The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Some great big starship packed full of colonists what got lost in the aether never to be found again? Ain't heard that one since I was but a stripling. Can't say it was terribly convincing far as rumors go. There a reason you asking? Hope's just a rumor, friend. Ancient rumor at that. Maybe you've been out in the sun too long. Why don't you head over to the cantina? Get yourself some Zero-G brew. It's a brew that's good for what ails you. Look, I don't know what's got you caterwauling about Hope this and Colony that, but you need to stop, or there's gonna be trouble.
Huh? What? I wasn't dozing off.
Beats working at the cannery.
People treat me like a marauder. She'd still like to see it. Was there like no autosave in this? That could be concerning. Holy. Save complete. I'm gonna grab a drink. Okay.
Like a couple days. Auntie said there's a lot.
Okay. If there's still something I've looked at. Indeed. It does look like bits are the currency. Odds. Consumable. Where it actually shows you how much bits you have. The Emerald Veil. Oh, your ship is like a storage container. That's cool. I really like the way this game looks. I love the art style. It's so cool. Hot meals, cold meals, live music when available. Day old salt tuna, 2 bits off. Yum. Little corporate guard.
Spacer's Choice takes care of its own.
I bet.
Keep your distance, friend.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. We don't get a lot of visitors.
Carry on.
The guitar riff is very Firefly. I love it.
I've been feeling pretty low these days.
I know how you feel.
Cards?
Hey, you hear about Wilson?
Heard Marauders got in.
Just between us, Wilson deserted. Lost his nerve. Ran off in the thick of night.
Yes, he did.
Kidding me? Damn. Always thought he was made of sterner stuff.
I think he was plagued. Guess he didn't want to die in the sick house.
Plague? Ah, shit. I had some of his salt tuna.
You moron. Don't make me report you to Mr. Thompson.
So, you're safer inside the walls.
Spacer's Choice handgun. Body count. A discount. Ability of Space Choice standards of health and safety. Schedule your sick leave with your Spacer's Choice foreman and steal anything. Wow, up the elevator we go.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just Try using small words for me.
The cans bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
Wow, I thought it was row.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we've got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
This guy seems like a nice guy.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way. I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Interesting
My hope
dilemma.
is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb.
That's not
but I
great.
cannot deny that she is talented.
Did you throw the grape
and
in the
may
fridge?
prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Oh, you put the cold one in the box. I now have a companion. There are characters that join you in your adventure and help in varieties of ways.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Yeah, man. Sounds like the ZXC are like her abilities down there by the looks of it.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's... Hey,
Okay.
mister, can we talk?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's talk when you're free. Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just... Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. Alls I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place. Can't say as I know. I wasn't there. The sound carried, but not the words. If Mr. Thompson ain't of a mind to tell you his own self, you'd best ask Miss McDevitt, if you can get out to her. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. It don't seem right to me, mister. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
Speak to the vicar.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways. Where are we headed? That's on account of how I never met her. She was in another division of the Spacer's Choice family. She worked in the Vale a few months, sorting the cannery computers. Her contract said any kids she had, expected or not, belonged to her office from the time of conception. So when I was born, I got sent here. I don't know about normal. Dad said she worked under some kind of special contract. It's sensible. Dad just fixed machines. She did some kind of crazy math, high-level stuff. Better to raise me on his time than hers.
Like a...
Okay, moving out. Heading back.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
Ease off the threats, friend. I'm going.
Boss's orders. We all got quotas to make.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Vicar?
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max, if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
No.
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
Because the moving is nuts. Yeah. Unless we approach our neighbor, tell him is how he would he like to purchase a double rental, fully furnished.
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. Glad we see eye to eye. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Seems fair enough. Got it. Only source of protein a busy worker needs. Salt tuna cannery. The docks, right? Apparently there's a guy I'm supposed to do with the docks. Ludwig.
Thank the law. I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses.
Not exactly.
You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the Resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling. I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies. That's right. That's what I've been saying. We gotta square our shoulders and stand ever vigilant. Auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant, clattering about, firing at the birds, orchestrating their uprising. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or standing, shoulder to shoulder with the Resistance? I've been gathering up a war chest over the years. Saw tuna cans, mostly, some Spacer's chaw, few bit cards. I'll reward you for your aid. Enlistment fees. Yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't want to give the Resistance a bad name.
$75, yes, sure.
They have sent a scout, prowling around the junkyard just behind our beloved town. This scout must not be permitted to return to its base of operations. Cross it off, then report back. Mechanicals got a weak spot in their midsections. I think the technical term is, the blue glowy square thing.
Technical term. Companion 1 ability, Companion 2 ability. Party, Companion Light. Oh, you can level her up too, that's cool.
When I was little, we'd get freighters in every Sunday noon. Now they only come but once a month. I love the wind here.
Junkyard? Figure out what's
Aw, he ain't no threat. But I could fix him up smart.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply.
I could probably fix that. I mean, if you wanted me to. That's not bad work, mister. You done this before?
Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics.
robot. Told me anything.
Self-diagnostics initiated. Please do not disturb.
Music. Big. There's some heavy ammo there. Heavy weapon I do not have.
Self-diagnostics initiated. Please do not.
Guess that's it. That's another. Shovel. Which I do not know what that's for. Ready? Like the garbage cubes. It's cool. Spaceship. Resting in bed is relaxing and moves time forward. In supernova difficulty, you can only rest in your bed on your ship. I'm not playing supernova difficulty. That. Oh. Light pistol, I think, is the weapon I'm already using. Trip blade. Could have used that. 60. Old MacDonald had a trip blade, and with the blade he killed a sprat. He's been kicked out of this part of town.
Huh?
Incoming!
Sorry, doggy.
Woo! We made it!
that his body's lootable. That was intense. Service award. You've gotten a weapon modification. Installed at the workbench. Also repair your weapon. Cool. Obviously useful for blocking. The tossball blockers, also great for bronzing, cleaving, and the occasional hacking. Spacer's choice. Built here. Ding.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
I like the gun she's got.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Got my sights on that gun of yours.
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind. You don't know what enough with the questions means? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Appreciate it. Honest.
Botched quests.
Fancy duds. Do the tubes get in your way? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions. Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics.
Oh boy.
Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. The other day I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper.
Okay.
She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd. Hey, I got time. Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
Your merchant skill is equal to the value of your best dialogue skill and is equal to prices when buying and selling. You Fiverr. $140. Not a lot. Site. Fair stuff. Science. Scope. Extend a site. Scope. Movement speed. Install mods and then uninstall them and install them into. So there's one way to find out. Stealing.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
Today's the day, Zoe. Today's the day you take your destiny to Grace talk with them. Threat bands of wild, free-spirited bandits living in caves out in the hills, giving themselves a light of barrel fire, probably mounted to their enemies on spikes as a warning to folk like free of any room. Bet they could take the whole region if they organized. This is good. Alright, let's go find her. Second. What's that? It's a truck.
Right, here we go!
Oh.
That's the last of them.
Assault rifle. Excellent. Oh, that wasn't the button I wanted to press, but it's done is done. So.
came out this far.
Need heavy ammo. Okay. That kind of looks like a mine. Oh, as I run into it. I think I'm quite disoriented for a while. Wait for that. Clear. Dizziness, I'm assuming. Oh. An illegal activity? Didn't give me any kind of indication of that.
Nice.
Worth it. Site. Sturdy, but it smells. Let's see, speak to Zoe here.
Stand and deliver! Say that. No encore?
Hooligan ain't got nothing for me. Zoe?
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. What? You mean Adelaide's little congregation of nature-loving nobodies? I could not possibly be less interested in them. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong. I doubt that. Nobody in that camp really cared about me. Wait, you're telling me he's got a copy of The Masked Marketeer? Why didn't you say so? I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to. I'm great at clarifying.
I am enjoying the Outer Worlds. Good.
No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit.
Okay.
I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but yeah, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma. I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find but a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse? I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time in Halcyon.
Kirk. Oh, lost. No. Time delete. Here. Explosive containers around here. Into sight. Need to work. Bye. There's some dinner. Spacer's Chew. Dervish Mist. That is. Oh, revolver. Nice. Reload enemy. Heavy ammo. Nice. Or pickable. These goodies.
What is it?
Oh.
We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway? Zoe joined up with a band of marauders. Zoe. The same Zoe who doesn't know a barrel from a trigger. Well, I've heard stranger things. You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is pay you for your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
I need a favor when I meet up with... What's her face? No, reputation with a... workbench. Dude.
Zoe says she fought her way out of a marauder camp with her own bare hands.
Correct. Mention here, perhaps?
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
Oh, didn't see you there.
Workbench.
I was,
Perfect.
well, I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi, hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town. Never heard it phrased in such a way before. I guess we're all trying to get our ships off the ground, ain't we?
That's a good...
Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair. I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged. I wish I knew. I wagered the town had the full set once upon a time. Where the third's gone, I can't say. Would you? I'd be grateful.
Welcome to the Crux 2000 Workbench. Workbench allows you to repair, upgrade, and modify your weapons and combat ready and in top shape at all times. On each screen, please first select the weapon or armor item that you want to work on, then choose what you want to do to it. Repair it, break it down for parts, modify it with a mod, or tinker to upgrade it. Mods can't be recovered after install. Bolter. Tab. one weapon part. It takes. Let's see. Bolt rifle is what she's using, yes? Five. Energy.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with? Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
Food is all. Five. At my. You can change the damage type to shock. Kinda neat. Expensive though. Not worry about that just yet.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned. A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject. Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip him out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. A hero to the people who matter. To us. To the ones who come around. To the ones you save. Reed will never understand. He has been too long inebriated on the wine of corporate culture. All he sees is productivity, output, profits. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scraps Spacer's Choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear. It's not much of a living. Every single person in that town has sold themselves to Spacer's Choice. The company owns them. Body, blood, and bones. You've been there. You've seen it. All anyone ever does is toil over a cannery. They give their lives for some heartless corporation, and then they're tossed into a Spacer's Choice brand cemetery. So, what do you say? Divert power over to us. Shut down that abominable cannery for good. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Tough situation.
Where are we headed? He's just interested in fixing stuff. He always used to follow me around, asking me to explain what I was doing. Like a puppy, kinda. I'm just glad he's alive. That he's okay. I mean, when Mr. Thompson said he was fired, we all expected the worst. If he wants to learn about engineering, we should help him get those data pads he wants. I'd like to do that for him. You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vickers says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk.
Did your phone
The
die?
machine Vickers sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. I think there's something higher and greater than us. But I don't feel it when I'm in the mission.
Whoops. Hey, Zecto. Well, that was the first glitch I've experienced. That was weird. She just kind of came out of the bed. But it's a really good game. Like, it's gorgeous. And all the dialogue and the quests and choices and stuff are good. The combat's a lot snappier than Fallout games. It's really quite enjoyable. See what we're gonna power that just yet. Let's return to Ludwig, do that. Find the 3 volumes. Let's set that as the active and go find 2 volumes for him. I think there is sorts. Oh. First one's right here. Sight on it now. Kinda cool. Oh.
Now we go.
Oof. My companion down? Alright, get up. Get up, little doggy. Companion, once you get your ship, go straight for the science weapons. Fair enough. I can do that. Backpack. Armor mod increases carry capacity. That makes sense. They do the wackiest things, which makes combat much more fun. Sounds good. Mantisaur examine. Cabinet searchable. Don't even know what any of this food does yet. Plain and pure water. Vending machines. Hack skill of 20 or higher allows you to sell items to the vending machine. Have? Oh, not unlocked that ability. I could have sworn I had. Whoa, sawed-off shotgun. Light machine gun. Light assault rifle. That differ from what I have right now. Doesn't do as much damage. Can't be equipped with a sight. Get down again. On Tarkov, I've been testing out fairly cheap Vepr AK builds. Yeah, not that bad if you mod it. Pretty poopy if you don't, though. Yeah, so that's the 366 TKM or a 762 Veprs. Because the 762 Veprs can be quite good. You can kind of mod them to be similar to an ADAR.
Here we go.
Great frilled manticore. 366. Oh, really? Oh. Cool looking. Killed the residents. Bathroom of all places. Whoa, Bremer cleaver. Okay. Finally bought an LEDX, so got my medical going towards level 3. Nice. Riot control armor and a sawed-off shotgun. Let's go. Oh, that's cool. Bard. Went in there though. Sorts of goodies to loot everywhere. One step closer to that scab case. The scab case is really great. It's just something fun to be able to always look forward to. I've had some pretty terrible 70k returns though, but I have had a few decent ones recently. I think I've gotten 3 paracords. Not at once, but like 3 different 70ks got me 1 paracord each, so that was pretty decent. That guy's either very well armored or this weapon is brutal. Why is the sawed-off shotgun so bad? Engineering Volume 1. First aid room key. It's probably the room that I wasn't able to get into. That's perfect. As long as I can keep heavy ammo, this is my weapon of choice. Locked door. Okay, yep. Okay. Ammo. Guns. There it is. Nice. Holy toxifree. Pick up experimental anthracillin. I'm guessing that's some sort of quest item that I don't even know about yet. Who ate my lunch? Who ate my lunch? Stun baton. Sitting ready. Do I have enough shunts to hack the entrance computer yet? This one.
That was quick.
Oh, there's the first aid room key again. Director Pickett. Bye. Borrow a keycard from the director, one of the workers in the second floor office. Lodge a complaint. Obsession with the queen is wasting all of her budget and holding up the entire exhibit. This has to stop. Our team has perished. Hack the planet! Code first aid key, huh? Turn volume 1 to him, fast travel back to the town, and volume 2. Travel.
Something I can help you with? Fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
I'll break it all down and sell it. Alright. Box is bad. Though. Thomas.
Any luck finding one of those manuals?
Yeah.
No kidding. Really? Well, which one? Look at that! Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special, on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me. Sure, I'd be glad to take them off your hands.
Six. That's fine.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Anything else I can do for you? I am getting old, you know. These two lamps of mine are not as bright as they once were. Or I might have seen you for what you are. Remains to be seen. Might be the man that saves the Vale. Might be Reed's personal gun hand. People around here lack the strength to effect change. Or they have the strength, but not the will. You seem to have both. A little prattling never hurt anyone, dear. You might even catch a little sense, if you listen close enough. I can't stop you from conducting your business down at the plant. I just want you to know that if you take our power away, you will have brought an end to our way of life. Not under Reed's watch. He and I would come to blows within a day, and he would never tolerate my tending to a garden. This is my home. It will be my home even if Reed cuts our power. Simple as that. That's because Reed was my boss. I was the cannery's one and only flavor specialist, you see. Remember that limited run of white chocolate saltuna? That was all me. My son worked in that cannery. When the plague started coming, he was one of the first to fall sick. We had a store of medicine locked away, but Reed refused to treat him. Said my boy didn't deserve treatment. Said the medicine would have been wasted on him. So I buried my boy in the cemetery, gathered my belongings, and left. That's as much of the story as you need to hear. A fish rots from the head down. I do not blame the town. I blame the leader.
A Raptidon.
Somebody's been running around town raving about a colony ship. Plague must have gone into their brain matter. Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
If you could see your way to getting us our power back, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead. It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post. I'm trying to remember 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the veils spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the veil will always be here. Spacer's Choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that. I wish you wouldn't say things like that. Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do. This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude. Go ahead. Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible. Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by. What with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world. Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate. Go ahead. Can we not? Talking about unpleasant things always gets my bile up. Show up to work, put in your hours, wear a smile. Problems of the body come from problems of the spirit. Work improves the spirit and fortifies the body. And where do you suggest we find this magical panacea? Can we pan for medicine in the stream? Medicine is a rare and precious commodity. If you demonstrate you have earned the right to be treated, you will be treated. Otherwise, you must heal yourself. That I cannot say. There was no moment when the plagues began. Disease always lurks on the fringes of society, waiting to infect the idle and the lethargic. But in the last 10 years, the plagues have become progressively worse and increasingly frequent. Corporate doesn't like us using the word should. It encourages the imagination. I believe plague is a test. It is a test of our loyalty and our fortitude, and it is one we will see through to the end. If I had enough medicine to treat everyone who fell sick, I would, but I don't. I can't save everyone. So I have to choose. Adelaide's son was barely competent. I treat him with our medical rations, and it looks like I'm playing favorites. Now, I will not pretend to understand the suffering Adelaide must have felt on account of losing her child, but she is not the only one to have felt such suffering. I wish she had stayed with us. Adelaide left us when we needed her most. Go ahead. That you are not one of us may work to your advantage. Adelaide and her folk loathe the people of Edgewater, you see. I admit the fault was mine. I'm about as diplomatic as a bristling canid. I just hope Adelaide and her folk will see their way past my flaws and return to town. Nature is uglier. There is safety here. Safety and purpose. But not all of us see that, and I cannot force that vision upon them. Yes, we have lost good workers to desertion. We have lost even more to plague. But it is why we must square our shoulders and carry on. Losing Adelaide was the hardest. She was our only flavor specialist. When she walked away, I knew we were in trouble. Spacer's Choice Saltuna is renowned across the system for its quality flavors and additives. We used to sell citrus-flavored Saltuna in our heyday. Ever since Adelaide left, we have been reduced to selling unflavored and spearmint. Go ahead.
Yeah, huh?
Some holeheads running around town talking about lost colony ships.
Don't end up Theodore. Do your work, show up, wear a smile, and you get your medical privileges. Start? Ugh. Brutal. Roll this together. There you go. Best thing to do if you have the plague is to come to work. Great.
I don't have time for this.
I wonder why so much ammo would exist in a canning factory.
Just gotta keep our heads up.
Ooh. Sprats.
It's alright. Got a lot to do.
Lost a hand, severed at the wrist, some bone damage. Maintenance fees will be deducted from your pay. Let's see. So. Oops.
Something you need?
You slipped pink slips. Ooh, disengage power regulator. Bad of reading those logs. give him this one and see if the message. If you read it on your watch, you don't see the cute kissy face that makes the message nicer. Of course. Just have to imagine. Maybe he'll give me a hint.
Any luck finding one of those manuals? No kidding! Really? Well, which one? Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads?
Yeah, it's a really
He's
pretty
still
looking
not
game and it
beating
runs
hard.
rock
Oh,
solid.
Almost forgot your payment.
It's nice.
What's on your mind?
I'm gonna find the last one. First volume, second volume. Where you mentioned your father reading a volume, working shifts at the key. Okay. In performance, you say? Oh, it's even running at 1440 unlimited frame rate. Yeah, it's basically running at max everything. Titles off because freaking minimal. Freaking immersive.
Been eating nothing but salt tuna for a year. Frame stopped working for me, it was just spinning. Doesn't say I'm having any drop frames or anything. Maybe it's just a little bit of a Twitch hiccup. I actually need to steal it. Oh. A bin of heavy ammo and light ammo. Alright. Find it on a table or something? What else to go on, eh? Just did it again for a few seconds. Could be your phone not cooperating with the internet.
You the new worker?
Oh.
Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill. If you're not familiar with board law, you ought to be. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker. Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story. Can't imagine why. The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable. Eugene wasn't family. Yeah, I was the closest living person relative to his body at time of death. I'm the one who found him, you see, so I pay the fines. Suicide's a crime.
Brutal.
The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism. First of all, that's a horrible thing to say. Secondly, yes, we did. When one of your workers commits a crime, the entire town pays for it. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard. Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to pay out of pocket to Spacer's Choice. Look around. Edgewater ain't exactly swimming in luxury. We can't afford to pay the body price of a suicide. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
I'm hoping she would tell me where the hell this book is.
That beep for me. Easy.
That's theft. Just pick up, no problem. I thought I was onto something there. ranged weapon skill. Changes damage type to plasma. Heavily locked little crate there, eh? Tried to pick lock the last container. I might have enough to pick lock this one.
Some hullheads running around town talking about lost colony ships.
Alrighty, so we're looking for the third volume for the task The Frightened Engineer. Who is Mad Hatter Mike? Mad Hatter Mike is Canmore Mike. Why do you ask? Friend request on Twitch. Yeah, that makes sense. Seem right?
Yeah, huh? Drain. Very strange.
Doesn't look like I'm gonna get this one finished. The geothermal plant. These are not terminals that you can interact with, though. Right? It's blue. Hey Zam, how are you? Maybe you can provide me with a little insight. I'm trying for the life of me to find the Mechanical Engineering Volume 3. Oh, yikes. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. I hope that they're okay. Can't imagine factory top floor. Weird, I could have sworn I've read through like every little computer that I've encountered. Yeah, it sounded like this terminal is supposed to have a log that you read, and it's supposed to help you out, but it doesn't. It should show you where, that's what I thought too, but I don't have an indicator for it, and chatting with Parvati doesn't provide me any clues either. She has nothing to tell me. Open the quest log. Thomas said he knows of at least one volume of the set is in the local community center and that another used to be in the town of Edgewater. So I've already got the first and second volume and turned them into him. And it says that, oh. Region. Objectives, there's none. It's weird. Wondering whether I should like save and load. See if it needs a kick in the butt or something. How far am I in this area? I haven't actually chosen like the main quest. I haven't chosen to divert power or to steal it from the main like Edgewater. Do I need to do that portion before I can complete the third portion? It's on the quest line. Okay. Fair enough. I'll go talk to this dude real quick here about his robot. And then probably call it a night there. If I recall correctly, there's a dude that has number 3 at the power plant you need to talk into getting. Okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Bring us honor, soldier. You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer, a weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts. Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years.
Okay, so that command works now. That's good. This guy was one of the most memorable of the game. Kappa.
Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory
He's pretty
is the
weird.
very last place a mechanical has need to enter.
Yeah, the YouTube one's the only one that I fixed so far. That'll be what I need to do now.
On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
Alright, I'm going to call it there though. Just because I do only stream till 11 now, and I'll try and whip up a video for YouTube. Oh, weird. Streamlabs didn't trigger it. I wonder if it's on cooldown. That's annoying. Okay. Well, thanks so much everyone for tuning in. Thanks Sam. I do hope that your birds are doing okay after the first aid being applied to them. It's been Mid-Tip Preacher preaching the gospel of gaming. And remember, if you're not having fun, what's the point? Good night, Zam. Good night, everyone. A good one.